Alright, so I already recorded this video once, but the audio was kind of messed up, so let's give it another try. So this is my new keyboard. This one is called Moonlander Mark I, hence the moon on the mouse pad, which I think is a nice touch. Right next to it I have Tofu 60% keyboard from KBD Fans, which I've been using almost 2 years, I think. I won't compare these two, but I'll first start by explaining why ergonomic keyboards even exist. Naturally, when you put your hands on your desk, you want to have the distance of your shoulders between the hands, right? That's how your hands would naturally rest. But when you're typing, you have to tilt your wrist slightly. But after a long session, it's going to be painful. So that's why ergonomic keyboards exist. Let's talk about the differences between these two keyboards. Pretty much every keyboard comes with this kind of layout, slightly angled columns. This one is called staggered layout. Guess where that comes from? Actually, that comes from old typewriters. They had like metal moving things. For some reason, we are still using this kind of layout today. I don't know why. But when it comes to Moonlander, we have something called ortholinear, 90-degree perfect columns. This is actually better, but for some stupid reason, we are still producing keyboards with staggered layout. So that's something. Then even the QWERTY keyboard layout originally comes from those old typewriters, which is really bad. If you're using QWERTY, you probably should change to Colmac or Colmac DH because it's terrible. QWERTY is terrible. So moving on, in both of these keyboards we have hot swappable PCBs, meaning you can pull out the keycap like so. Then you can the keyboard actually comes with a keycap and a switch puller, so you can use that to pull out the switch, and you can replace it with some other key, a linear key or whatever you like. Same goes for the Tofu as well. You can actually buy a different PCB which you can solder the keys, actually switches, into. But I bought the hot swappable one, which is a little bit expensive compared to the soldering one, but I wanted to try different switches, so that's why I bought that. So both of them are compatible. Hot swappable PCBs. Then in my Tofu, I have Gateron Ink Black V2. These are like really good linear switches. I have applied actually a little bit of lube to these switches. Then in the Moonlander we have Cherry MX Brown, which is a tactile switch. Sorry, there's a small bump when you're pressing the key. It's almost not noticeable, compared to other tactile switches, but it's kind of growing on me. I have to mention these Cherry MX Browns are not smooth. There's a little scratchiness to it, and you can kind of feel it, I guess. But when you're focusing on something, you don't even notice that. So Cherry MX Browns are kind of growing on me. Next, let's talk about flashing. When it comes to flashing, Actually, you don't have to do that in Tofu 60 because it is VR compatible. At least the latest PCB is VR compatible, meaning you can go to this application right here. When you plug in the keyboard, it's going to detect the keyboard and you can customize your keys. And there are a hell of a lot of customizations you can do compared to something like Corsair gaming keyboard or whatever. Right now I have not plugged this in, but the point is, when you change a key, that will reflect in the keyboard right away. You don't have to flash or do anything, just it's going to just work. But when it comes to Moonlander, we have an application called Oryx, which is a web application. The web application, it's fine, works on many different platforms. Wherever you have a browser, it works. You can do it right from the web browser or the web application itself. You can just hit on save to keyboard, then the device will be detected once you have pressed the reset button right here. You have to press it, but on Linux, for the first time, you will have to add a udo rule. Same goes for the VR as well, but it's automatically adding the VR, the udo rule. But when it comes to this application right here, we have to add the udo rule manually, but all instructions are given by this web application, where to put and what to put put in the udo rule, which is way better than the VR web application, which does not give me any information what to do about the udo rules. Alright, let's go back, not all the way back to the home page. Yeah, it looks something like this, and it's fine. Someone who was using QMK will appreciate this, because it's way easier, maybe a little bit limited when it comes to customizations, but yeah, this is fine. So that's flashing in Moonlander. Then obviously there are layers, and there are things like different ways to set things, and they have done a really good job in this web application. For example, I can add a key for a tapped event and held event or double tapped, things like that. For example, I have assigned E to this key right here, or switch right here, but when I tap and hold it, it's going to be a shift key. For example, I can just show you that. I think I can do well, hold on, how do I zoom in? Yeah, there we go. So when I tap the key, it's going to type S, but when I tap and hold it, it's going to act as a shift key. Now when I press any other key, you can see all letters are in capital. When I release that key, once again we are using simple letters, capital, simple. Isn't that nice? I don't know if one of those gaming keyboards can do that. So that's there. Then I have we have a thumb cluster. We previously on this just a regular keyboard, you would be using your thumbs to just press space, which is such a waste. You can do more. So we have this thumb cluster. These two buttons are, I think, pretty much useless. I don't like these two buttons. I don't even know why it's there. Then these two buttons are really comfortable to press, and your fingers naturally rest there, so it's really easy. These two, I mean, fine, not the best, but it's fine. These two I don't like. I cannot reach those two keys without moving other fingers or hand, which is something I'm trying to avoid using. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.